Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for the TNA Event Center report. And now here's the man to give you all the total non-stop action and impactful report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Before we get into talking about what happened on TNA Impact last night, I want to let you guys know I was unable to watch the TNA Impact show, not because I was on rant and rave, because somehow my tablet was not cooperating trying to play the videos. So I figured I would wait till the next day, today. And when I got home, I ended up watching the events from last night. And we shall see what will develop. So I do apologize ahead of time for not doing the TNA Event Center video last night like I usually do. But I decided since the Red Sox lost to the Yankees, I would reflect on the season that the Red Sox had with my Big BBE's Boston Ball Speak to make up for it. So I'm hoping you guys understand where I'm coming from here. So I do apologize. But I managed to end up watching it, and thankfully, and I've done it with no issues. So here we go. We're going to talk about what happened on TNA last night. TNA Event Center for October the 2nd, 2025. As you know, it's a fallout from Victory Road and the last one before NXT Showdown. Now, I got some bit of sad news coming out of TNA. I just found out. I went on Reddit, and they had a TNA. And according to Tommy Dreamer and other reports coming out, unfortunately, Ash by Elegance has decided to retire because whatever health issues that she has. I don't know why she retired. We don't know for sure, but I think it was HIPAA laws, HIPPA, HIPAA laws. And if you don't know what that is, I want to look it up myself because I know what it is, and I forgot what it is. Let's see. So, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It sets national standards of privacy and security of health information according to health plans, clearinghouses, and providers conduct. So protected health information. So that's one of the reasons why I do believe that Ash by Elegance is not revealing anything, and I think she doesn't want to alarm anybody, and that could be a main thing. But unfortunately, she is retiring. It's sad because if that's the case, folks, I feel for her. So I feel for her, and she's worked very hard ever since the WWE released her from her contract, and she went to TNA and ended up winning the Knockouts title and a few months ago, and only for her to relinquish that title, it was kind of heartbreaking to see. But whatever she does, and we'll be keeping her in our prayers, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that she gets better from whatever she's dealing with, and I pray that she gets back healthy and hopefully decide to come out, or hopefully one day decides to come out of retirement and fight in the ring. But for now, we will respect her wishes. Keep it private. We don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate. Well, beautiful as she is, we're going to miss her in the ring, and she's brought a lot, not just for TNA but WWE as well. So may Ash by Elegance be better, be well, and the Knockouts division in TNA, especially on the singles side, is taking a huge hit with Ash by Elegance retiring, and Monster Slamovich having to deal with the domestic abuse allegations that that's been going on, and TNA decided to keep her off television for that. I think that's my main concern, basically, and So we're hoping now. I was kind of hoping like somebody like Xia Li would, now Lei Ying Li would step up and be Knockouts champ and set that tone, set that example. A lot of people probably complain that it's in the hands of an NXT wrestler with Kaylani Jordan holding that title. But she has decided to take the responsibilities of TNA, being the Knockouts champion very, very seriously. I think if Indy Hartwell beats Kaylani Jordan, maybe everybody else will step up. We'll see what happens, hastily. So basically, so TNA Impact started off with the King's Speech. The interview segment that Frankie Kazarian hosted, and speaking of the Kaylani Jordan, she was a guest on the show, and Kaylani Jordan says that they were talking about the people in the locker room don't like her and wants that title. She says I'm gonna fluke and all that. She wants to prove there's more to Lonnie. No one does it better than Lonnie. And then Trick Williams comes out, talks some smack for a while, and then Matt Hardy comes out first, says his piece, and then remember, Jeff Hardy was not allowed in Canada because of his criminal past, which I hate to say that, I like Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy was really cool. Leon Slater and Indy Hartwell interrupts the three in the ring, and then all of a sudden, Santino Marella heard them arguing, they're talking smack, and he said, well, we'll make this thing a mixed 6-person tag. It's Matt Hardy, Leon Slater, Indy Hartwell versus Kaylani Jordan, Trick Williams, and Frankie Kazarian. It's like an all-champions matchup. The only person in that matchup that had that championship was Indy Hartwell. Even though she is a former NXT Women's Champion. So there's that to go on. But during the trios matchup, Mike Santana joins on commentary, and then during the matchup, or during the skirmish, now there was a stipulation where if Mike Santana puts his hands on Trick Williams unprovoked, then the match of Bound for Glory is off. But if he's provoked, only when provoked, and then I think Matt Hardy or Frankie Kazarian pushed Trick Williams accidentally pushed Trick Williams right into Mike Santana. Mike Santana beats Tara out of Trick Williams. And then, but Matt Hardy, Leon Slater, and Indy Hartwell took advantage of the situation. And Slater, Hardy, and Hartwell, I like to call them Team Shh, S-A-H-H, Shh, Team Shh, ends up winning the match. Shh, be quiet, not the other stuff. Anyways, then Tommy Dreamer comes out with the rest of the TNA roster addressing the NXT Showdown that will happen. Now, again, I did mention this, why they decided to change the name from Invasion to Showdown, because October 7th was the date, unfortunately, last year, where Hamas started messing with Israeli people and citizens, killing them and all that. And they decided to... So the Israeli officials were very upset that the folks in WWE call it an invasion on the date, and they said, you know what, you're right, because remember, invasion was invented back, not invented, but was mentioned back in 2001 before this whole thing, this whole mess in Israel started, and I think Israeli officials should look up on their wrestling history for that, but I'm not going to, bash them or anything like that. I can understand where they're coming from. So they decided to call it a showdown, which is, and Santino Morales says it's not an invasion because we're a partnership. It was a partnership, and it was never an invasion to begin with, to be totally honest. But, like I said, bragging rights was right there. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you use bragging rights? No one's using that yet, so why not put bragging rights in there instead of NXT bragging rights instead of invasion, Showdown? Yeah, sure. And I joked about this being the second tic-tac-toe category to be used as a wrestling pay-per-view, because the first one was wrestling event. The first one was the pay-per-view Double or Nothing from AEW, and now Showdown, because they were both former tic-tac-toe categories back in the day. Yeah, I'm a game show fan, so what? Sue me, okay? Anyways, don't sue me. I don't have a whole lot of money. I'm not rich, in other words. I'm not super rich. If I was, I'd be retiring from cleaning trash at the mall. Just saying. So, and Mara Sade describes her journey into wrestling. And where, she's talking about when she was released from her dream job in the WWE. And there was a light at the end of the tunnel, which is TNA. The Angel Warriors, Zaya Brookside and Li Ying Lee, going up against, going as Kat Von Hees and Ava Lawless, with the Angel Warriors picking up the victory. And I'm sure they're going to keep an eye on the main event, which is the Elegance brand defending the Knockouts tag team titles against the Inspiration. Joe Hendry addresses Eric Young, but then Santino Marella interrupts Hendry, saying next week there will be a no disqualification match for someone's above me, no DQ matchup. I think we don't know what's going on in that situation, but I think Eric Young's got something to do with it. So, and then we got the Road to Glory 2 with Mike Santana. And Mike Santana's kind of bothered about what happened on Slammiversary, but Amazing Red, a TNA legend, kind of set him straight. So, hopefully that will motivate Mike Santana to win the world title. He says, do it for yourself, man. So, it's good to hear from Amazing Red. The Hometown Man versus Nick Nemeth, and heck of a matchup this was. Until Ryan Nemeth, the little brother, I'm going to help my big brother. Ryan Nemeth's got a punchable face, let me tell you, Between him and Grayson Waller, if I want to put an annoying tag team, a Survivor Series team together, I would put MJF, I would put Grayson Waller, Ryan Nemeth, okay? Also, who do I want to put as, I put The Miz, because he's annoying. And I would pick Dominic Mysterio, because they are all annoying, It's like 5 punchable faces. It's like faces that you want to go boom, 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 Like, and they like to run their mouths. I call them the Mouth World Order, the MWO, the Mouth World Order, because they don't shut up. And their theme song should be Run DMC's You Talk Too Much, and boy, you never shut up. I said you talk too much. Yeah. Miz, MJF, Grayson Waller, Ryan Nemeth, and Dominic Mysterio. Those 5 annoy me the most. Like every time they come out and run their mouths. It's like, can you put us to sleep here? You dope. Anyways. And after Ryan Nemeth got involved, HCM attacks him, got his mask back, but Nemeth won the matchup, but they decided they're not happy with that, so they still attacked the Hometown Man. And then Mike Cardona came to his aid, and then Ryan Nemeth got his stupid little got that mask back from HTM, and he still looks stupid wearing it. He's stupid. He's got a stupid looking face. Anyways, Gia Miller addresses the Tessa Blanchard situation, because after Victory Road, and I forgot to mention this, that Tessa Blanchard attacked, I think Gia Miller was interviewing somebody, and I forget what it was, and then Gia Miller was attacked by Tessa Blanchard, and so Gia Miller says, you don't know what you've done, but I decided that I'm bound for glory. It's that, and that Gia Miller said that she asked to lift the suspension and told Santino, on one condition: if she provokes me again, there will be consequences. And Santino agreed. And so the first chance that Gia Miller is going to go one-on-one in the wrestling ring against Tessa Blanchard, I got a weird feeling something's going down, man. And you tell what, don't let the beauty of Gia Miller fool you. There's something inside her, man. If she got the 2 meanest dudes in professional wrestling, in Cruel and Madman Fulton together as a team, that woman is capable of anything, let me tell you. So Knockouts history and Knockouts battle, Alicia Edwards and Tasha Steelz, these two had a history since their days wrestling in Chaotic Wrestling, basically. And, Order 4 was causing trouble, setting the system to argue with Order 4. The referees distracted. Tasha Steelz tried to use the kendo stick, and then she got dropped, and Alicia Edwards used it, and ends up pinning Tasha Steelz to win the match. But then Steelz attacks Alicia after the matchup, which prompted the system to jump in the ring in order for retreating. And then Tessa Blanchard, along with Victoria Crawford, responded to Gia Miller. He says, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to. Oh, no, Miss Blanchard, you really stepped into it this time. Anyways, Knockouts Tag Team title on the line, the main event, the Elegance brand, Emma and Heather by Elegance defending it against the Inspiration. Heck of a matchup this was, and it got to the point where Matthew Ridwell was going for Elegance brand, but we got in brand new Tag Team Knockouts champions in the Inspiration once again. What a comeback they made. They went away. They came from the WWE after winning the tag team titles there at WrestleMania. Come to TNA. They won the tag team titles first round around, but they lost the belts. They went away. They became parents. They became moms. They came back together and became, once again, the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to the ladies. So, and hearing the lovely voice of the lovely Harley Cameron, who did their theme song. Of course, the talented young lady is from AEW, and she can sing as well. So, that is all the time that we have on this show, on this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Tonight, SmackDown. We'll see what happens there. And where we go, Crown Jewel is coming up in the 11th of, that's a week from tomorrow. So, that's it. That's all there is to it. I'll see you in the next episode of the show. Until that next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.